Have you ever caught a glimpse of something that completely shattered your world? A single moment that turned everything you thought you knew upside down? That's exactly what happened to me when my wife left her phone unlocked. And trust me, the truth I uncovered wasn't something I ever expected to face. Before I take you through this roller coaster of emotions, hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what happens next.
It all began on a Saturday morning. The sun was shining, birds chirped outside the window, and it felt like the perfect day. We were in the kitchen, laughing, talking about our plans for the day. My wife was more animated than usual, asking the kids to help with breakfast, telling them to clean up. Everything seemed fine, or so I thought. But there was something different, something I couldn't quite put my finger on. I noticed how she kept her phone in her hand more often, how she would turn it face down whenever I was near her. At first, I convinced myself it was nothing, just me overthinking, maybe. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something was hiding, some piece of the puzzle that I wasn't seeing. Later that night, the kids went to bed and we were sitting together in the living room, watching TV. Her phone buzzed on the coffee table. I didn't think much of it at first, but then I saw her glance at it, hesitate for a split second, and quickly pick it up to silence it. That's when it hit me. Why would she act like that? I didn't want to invade her privacy, but my gut was telling me something was wrong. I tried to ignore it, tried to tell myself I was just being paranoid. But then I remembered, her phone was unlocked earlier that evening when she left it on the kitchen counter. Without thinking, my hand moved toward the phone. My heart raced as I picked it up. In that moment, everything felt like it was spiraling out of control, but it felt like the only way to ease my anxiety to know for certain what was going on. I unlocked the phone. The screen lit up, and for a second I thought it was just going to be the usual apps, emails, social media, news updates. But then I saw her messages. My heart skipped a beat. There it was, conversations with someone I didn't recognize. They weren't just friendly exchanges, they were flirty. The way they spoke to each other, there was something there. My hands started to shake as I scrolled down. The messages got more intimate as I read, more personal. They shared inside jokes, intimate details, feelings I didn't even know existed between her and this person. I froze. Every new message was like a punch in the gut. The world around me felt like it was spinning, and the walls closed in. Was this real? Was my wife really in love with someone else? My mind raced, trying to process what I was seeing. And then it hit me, the message that completely shattered everything. I can't do this anymore. It's over with him. I want to be with you. I stared at the screen, my hands trembling. She was in love with someone else. I had never expected this. Not from her, not from us. How had I missed this? How had I not seen the signs before? The late nights, the unexplained absences, the moments of tension between us, they all started to make sense now. But that message, that admission, was the worst part. I had been living a lie, a carefully crafted illusion. I had trusted her with everything. And now I was left holding the pieces of a shattered reality. I couldn't breathe. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't sit there, scrolling through her messages, seeing my life unravel before my eyes. My world was crumbling, and all I could do was sit there and stare at the screen, feeling like I was suffocating. I needed to confront her. But how? How do you even begin to talk about something like this? Do you scream? Do you cry? Do you accuse her of everything she's been hiding? I couldn't find the words. My mind was a whirlwind of emotions, and yet I knew I had to face her. She needed to know that I knew. I walked to the bedroom. My hands were still shaking as I held the phone in front of me, my heart pounding in my chest. When she saw the phone, her face drained of color. Her eyes flickered with fear. She knew what was coming. She knew that I knew. I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. I just held out the phone. "We need to talk," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Her eyes widened, and she immediately sat down on the bed, her hands trembling. She tried to explain, tried to make it seem like it was just a mistake, a slip-up. But it wasn't. You don't fall in love with someone else by accident. You don't share your deepest emotions and secrets with someone by mistake. No, this was deliberate. She had chosen this. I didn't mean to hurt you, she said, her voice cracking, tears streaming down her face. I was confused, I was lonely, and I didn't know what to do. Lonely? Confused? I couldn't comprehend it. This was not confusion. She had made choices. She had kept secrets. She had betrayed me. Who is he? I asked, my voice trembling with a mix of anger and disbelief. I can't say, she whispered, looking down at her hands, unable to look me in the eye. The rest of the conversation was a blur. There were apologies, explanations, and more tears, but none of it mattered. The trust was broken, and I couldn't find a way to put it back together. How could I forgive her for this? How could I ever look at her the same way again? I left. I didn't say goodbye. I didn't want to hear any more. I walked out of that room, out of the house, and into the cold night, feeling like I was in a fog. I couldn't think, couldn't process. I just needed to get away. The next few days were a blur. I tried to talk to her, to make sense of what had happened. She begged for a second chance, promised that she had ended things with him. But how could I believe her? How could I ever trust her again after what she'd done? She had been the one person I thought I could rely on, and now everything felt like a lie. Eventually, we separated. She moved out, and I stayed in the house. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done, but it felt like the only choice I had. The memories of our time together haunted me. I would see her everywhere, her smile, her laugh, the way she would hold my hand, but now it was all tainted. I tried to move on. I tried to let go of the pain, the anger, the betrayal. But some wounds are too deep to heal quickly. And no matter how much time passed, that phone, those messages were always in the back of my mind. So here's the real question. What would you do if you found yourself in my shoes? Could you forgive someone who betrayed you like this? Would you walk away, or would you try to rebuild what was broken? Let me know what you think in the comments. What would you do? Can betrayal ever be truly forgiven? If you found this story gripping, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more shocking real-life tales. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, trust is everything. Once it's broken, it can never be the same again.